Yeah, I know. There's something wrong with this eyelid. It's been bothering me for a couple days. I guess it's time for me to go and get it checked out. Today's PSA brought to you by Science. Nuking shit since 1945. Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Professor Parks, PhD here. Please like, share, subscribe if you like astronomy and mental health related content. This particular video is going to be talking about more on the mental health component, as it were, in that I'd like to start a conversation with people in the flat earth conversation about the amount of toxicity there appears to be really on both sides. This is not something that I think has just recently come about. I've been a part of this conversation, as it were, since 2018, mainly as a lurker in Simon and Dan's comment section and Conspiracy Cat's comment section and so forth. But I've been around for a number of years, and during that time, what I've noticed is that on top of the typical insults back and forth, your mama's so fat, you so ugly, that sort of shit, there's also a layer of just vehement sort of hatred. We're talking about comments about people's personal identity. We're talking about accusations of being a predator to the youngins, that sort of thing. We've even had death threats. The incident that comes to mind that it really is the impetus of this video was the death threats made to MC Toon, a globe debunking member of our community. I didn't realize until after watching the video just how unhinged this particular individual was, given his past legal history. Now, I'm not saying that he is the only person to receive death threats, by no means. And I'm certainly not saying that only Globers receive death threats. As I am not intimately familiar with the flat earth community, I am not aware of any death threats made towards members of the flat earth community, particularly content creators. But what I can say is I have witnessed, back when Irish Demon was obsessed with Daniel Pratt, before his obsession with Chili, whoever the fuck that dude is, members of his community not only found Daniel Pratt's address, but sent him things. The most humorous of which was a greeting card filled with cut up penises, like confetti penises. But also, they would, one other thing that I'm aware of is they ordered a refrigerator technician or some kind of technician to go out to his house in a bogus call. Now, obviously, that doesn't compare with death threats, but that is what I have seen. I can only imagine that there are other events that have occurred that I'm just ignorant of. Personally, I think this whole thing is reprehensible and really just inexcusable. This is in some cases, a comedic sort of pastime for folks, and for others, it's a serious matter of intellectual curiosity, or possibly, so for some folks, even more important than that. It certainly is not a place for death threats, for doxing, for accusations of sexual deviance. These things really need to stop. What I would like to see is some kind of panel discussion. The idea that I have is that I would be the moderator, because I believe that I could be fair to both flat earth and globe concerns. And then I would have three panelists who are globe content creators and three panelists who are flat earth content creators. The names I have in mind for the globe side are Blue Marble Science, I Can Science That, MC Toon, or FTFE, but not both. For the flat earth side, I was thinking that we could have Bev from Bev Try Thinking, Austin Whitsitt, and Nathan Oakley or Quantum Racer, but not both. Now, these are obviously just suggestions. These are some of the content creators that I am most familiar with. I know some of the other prominent names, particularly on the Flat Earth side, are Level Earth Observer, David Weiss, and Jaron. I have not spoken with those or interacted with those gentlemen in any way, so I've left them off the list. My key point is I would like this forum to happen, and I would like this forum to happen online, on live stream, sooner rather than later. Now, when it comes to myself moderating on my channel, let's be frank and objective. On the one side, yes, while I am coming this from a sense of concern for the community, this would materially benefit my channel. This would certainly, if this happens, it would certainly be the most watched thing on my channel to date. I have no doubt. Sort of in line with that, my channel is very, very small. It's not even monetized. So if for those of you who think that I'm going to profit off this monetarily, there is no way for me to do so, at least not in terms of YouTube finances, super chats, that sort of thing. If people want to send me PayPal or what have, or become a Patreon or what have you, there is that. I have no control over that, but there is no way for people to give me money through YouTube. And besides, all of the money presently that goes to me goes to my observatory, as I clearly stated multiple times. With that out of the way, I obviously am not arrogant enough to believe that I am the only person who can host such a summit, as it were. And if someone better or if the communities can agree on some other moderator, then more power to them. But again, I stress the importance that this summit, as I'm now going to call it, needs to happen. My cats agree. Don't you, Luna? This needs to happen because the bad actors on both sides of this community need to be identified. They need to be identified, their actions need to be brought to light, and they need to be judged, for better or for worse, as to whether or not we should continue to associate ourselves with folks who continually are toxic to other people. Now, how one would go about dealing with those individuals, I don't know. That's the whole purpose of this panel. Purpose of this panel, again, like I said, is to highlight the abuses that have gone on both sides, identify the actors on both sides, and then try to find some kind of resolution so that I, for one, don't have to worry about some asshole showing up to a friend of mine's house and blowing him and his family away. That is a legitimate concern that I have. And I think if you're honest, there are those of you who are out there who have that same concern about someone else. So please, let people know about this idea. Let them know that I want to host it, but please let them know that I want this idea to go forward so that we can make this happen. Thank you for listening. Peace out. Clear skies.